Destructoid.
And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast. I'm here today with a great cast of people, as usual. I was not here last week, but Greg, you did a great job hosting. Good job for that.
Hey, thanks.
Hope you like my little voice memos I left for you guys. That was kind of fun.
Great.
Beautifully crafted.
Today's going to be an awesome episode. We have a lot of topics, actually, which is pretty cool because we typically don't, and we talk about random stuff like making fun of movies and stuff like that. But this week, we're going to talk about GBA leaks. Xenoblade's release date got pushed up, and SMT5 hit 1 million sales, and that's awesome because that game is great. But first, I'm going to introduce my co-hosts, starting with Mary Stowe, social media manager and host at Destructoid. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. And then there's Greg Vargas, writer at PC Invasion and streamer over at Dynamite Giraffe. What's up, Greg?
And that was my rat horn.
We have John Frisha, indie developer and managing editor over at The Escapist. What's up, John?
Shop labadoo bop boo.
Bop dibbly doo. And then we have Brett Larson, the king, the daddy, the DILF. How you doing, Brett?
All three. Good, man. You weren't the only one that was out last week. We were officially Brettless.
Yeah, a Brettless episode.
Looks
like
all the sex appeal was completely gone.
It was heaven. Asshole.
And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, we have Eric on the ones and twos. Eric, I'm not sure if you're going to do any voiceover. You kind of just did something funny before the show, so that was kind of cool. But if you're a little too scared, okay. There we go. Auto-tune Eric.
Sky Daddy Eric.
I hope that was actually in the recording because he always will say something and then it's not in the final recording, and I don't know why. But yeah, so one more thing with housekeeping. If you want to be on the episode, you can leave a comment down in the actual comments section, not the live comments, but the actual comments section below, and we will read your comment on the next episode that we do live. And then aside from that, please leave us some reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We desperately need reviews over there because we've got like 2. And I have like 10 friends. So that means I have like 8 bad friends who won't leave reviews. But yeah, First topic of the week. We're going to talk about Nintendo's probably pissed about the GBA games for Nintendo Switch Online being leaked. And I think this is pretty exciting. And this was talked about like a year ago. It was actually heavily rumored before the N64 games got revealed. But it ended up never happening. I don't know if they were like, oh man, they know about it, so let's just do N64 games instead. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this. One thing I really hope doesn't happen though is another price increase. They cannot raise the price again.
Yeah,
it's just it's too much already. $80 a year for the family plan. But yeah, Mary, where's your hype level on the GBA leak?
If I treat every leak and rumor with like a little bit of like, okay, it's just a leak, it's just a rumor until like it actually happens. But like, I'm actually really excited because I didn't have a Game Boy growing up, so I'm definitely one of those people that's like, okay, give me all your recommendations. What are like what games do I absolutely have to play? You know, and I saw Golden Sun was like on the image, and I'm like, okay, I know a lot of people are gonna say that game for sure.
Yeah, I played Golden Sun as a kid, and I still want to say I loved it, but I haven't played it since I was like a tiny kid, so maybe I don't love it anymore. But as a kid, I really loved Golden Sun, and I'm definitely gonna play it again if this is real, which it seems like it is. Brett, where's your hype level for GBA games?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Mary on this one. Like, I also did not have a GBA when I was younger. So
when you were 37.
Cool. And when I was 35. No, so it's cool because there's going to be at least a handful of games that I'll entrust from people like you guys that are like, okay, you got to play this, got to play this, got to play this. So I'm excited for that. Wasn't Resident Evil Revelations a GBA game? The first one?
No,
that's 3DS. You might be thinking of
3DS. I'm sorry, I totally got this.
what's it called? Resident Evil Something on Game Boy
There
Color,
was-
Resident.
Yeah, there was
Maybe
something.
it was just an ass Resident Evil, and I just got them mixed up. But
It probably wasn't great.
yeah,
What's that-
okay.
That
But either
Game
way-
Boy Resident Evil game. What's it called? It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Apparently, it's called Resident Evil Gaiden.
Gaiden. That's
Was
what
it?
I
Yeah,
said.
I think
so
that was
right.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, there's at least a few games that I'm sure I'll check out that'll be fun to go back at that I never was able to play originally. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And again, with you guys, hopefully they don't increase the price. I mean, really, when you look at it, what is it right now? $80 a year? That's not
For the family
a
plan.
lot for the family plan, especially if you can like share it with someone. It's not a lot, but yeah, an increase would definitely rub me the wrong way for sure.
Yeah, it's worse for a single person because it's $50 a year
For sure.
for
For
one
sure.
person. The
Right.
$80 route is the way to go if you have like a friend or two. I actually have a family, unfortunately, so that's actually going to my family. But
You
The worst
unfortunately
use
have
of the family
family.
plan.
I mean, technically,
Unfortunately, I have kids and a wife.
unfortunately, I have to actually use the service for what it's for.
the cool thing though, with the family plan, can't you have like up to 5 official like different users? Seven. See, that's
Really,
pretty
it's
incredible.
7.
Like if you can get that many people and you're all pitching in, like you're paying like $10 for the year. So
Yep.
yeah.
Brett, you probably don't even remember, but you went halvesies with me on the
Right.
$80.
We did.
I still have that for like 8 more months.
Because originally I was on a family plan with my cousin and a bunch of his friends and stuff, and then you were like, hey, you should tell your cousin you're not doing it with him anymore. So I did, and then yeah, we joined
So
together.
you can help me pay for mine.
Yeah, so
Break
we
with his
did
cousin
ours.
to date you.
Yeah.
Is that how
Yeah,
things
I was
work?
like, love you, cousin. F off.
I've known you like forever, but
Right.
this guy on the
We're
internet
done.
needs me.
We're done. Greg, are you excited about this? As the probably one of the biggest retro game fans on this panel, with John probably.
Yeah, I'm proceeding with caution, I guess. I think that's one of the coolest parts, I think, is that Nintendo is kind of self-aware. It knows its audience. It knows there's people out there that haven't enjoyed some of their backlog, their collection of games that they previously published. So definitely for Mary and others out there who never got to experience this library on the Game Boy. I was looking at the list and I'm like, it just seems like, yeah, I'm glad there's some, solid Nintendo first party titles in there, like Yoshi's Island, because that's a really fun one. Minish Cap, I never played. But like I said, I'm proceeding with caution just on the price point. I'd be interested to see, like far and wide, how many people own and subscribe to other subscription services for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Xbox, and other monthly subscriptions to games as a service, and then tack this on, and it's another expense. But if it's done in a way that isn't an overt massive cash grab, then I could see, like you guys said, getting on a family plan, being able to share these titles with other people. And this was, I did own a Game Boy Advance when I was, I think it was in high school about the time, but also fuck you, Chris, you asshole, because I know it was you. You stole
family.
stole it out of my
Hard
backpack
left turn
and
there.
3 of my games.
That woke me
So
up.
I'm excited.
Got heavy.
Yeah, that's funny. With GBA, before I get to John, a lot of these games, these like 16-bit, 32-bit, they look great still on a TV, because I've been playing a lot of them on Wii U lately, and I'm excited for people to play these games because they honestly have aged really well because of this handheld and its limitations whenever it came out. Like it's like the art styles are fantastic. Now, John, where's your hype level?
I mean, I'm all about it just in principle. I loved Game Boy Advance because it was kind of like a portable Super Nintendo. Like, it got so many good Super Nintendo ports, and also the graphics, it was basically like it's a little small Super Nintendo. It really is. So that's my favorite thing in the world. So yeah, I love the Game Boy Advance. But just looking at how like these rumors and reports have developed is like kind of strange to me. Is if you go back to last year when the most prominent reports first showed up, I think it was Nintendo Life and Eurogamer who were reporting like, oh yeah, Game Boy is a done deal on NSO. It's imminent. Like we're gonna hear about it any day now. And then it was Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis, and they looked like total idiots. And
Definitely.
then, but like they still were like, oh no, but it's still coming, it's still coming. And you know what? Like I bet it is coming, but like it still made them look like idiots. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
And
I-
now it's been
I-
like a long time and it's still not
yeah,
here.
Yeah.
yeah. It has been more than half a year now, I think. But so to uh to get really specific, I guess what the hacks found was last year they found like a Game Boy emulator called I think Hiyoko, I think. And this new like leak, it was that again in a folder with this Game Boy Advance emulator called Sloop. Isn't that fun? Sloop.
Sloop.
It's great.
And these are
Interesting.
like apparently like official Nintendo emulators, like that allegedly might have been made in Europe, I think I read. But
Hmm.
anyway,
Interesting.
point I'm getting at is that it looks like the case will be that we'll be getting like the full suite of Game Boy games, and like I'm curious to see how they're gonna do that. Like I saw, idle internet chit chat, but I saw one person suggesting like, what if Game Boy and Game Boy Color is the on like regular NSO, and then Game Boy Advance is only on like expansion packs, something like that. That would
Yeah.
suck so bad, and I hope they don't do that. But I could
Yeah.
I can imagine
totally
that.
see them
Yeah,
doing that.
definitely.
1,000,000%. Like, yeah, you can play Super Mario Land on regular NSO, or you can play all the bigger, prettier games for like $100 million more. So I could totally see that. But I since we already mentioned it, I was actually the odd person that like didn't really dig Golden Sun like at all, and I just skipped the
Wowzers.
sequels. Yeah, like I don't know, I just thought it was like kind of boring and generic. Like I played it the whole way through, but I just never liked it. So I don't know. I guess I'm in the minority there, but there's plenty of other games I would recommend to you, Mary.
I was say like which ones?
Yeah, let's hear
Right
a couple.
there
let's
on the
hear 'em.
If you
screen.
can think of any.
Man, there's oh man,
WarioWare
there's so
Inc.
many.
I mean,
Yeah,
Golden,
actually,
Golden
yeah.
Sun.
Oh
Golden
my
Sun
God,
doesn't seem like to me like a game that would jump off the page as like something I'd be loving to jump into. But
Minish
yeah.
Cap,
there's a
I think you would like, Brett.
Which
yeah,
one?
Minish Cap, the Legend of
Minish
Zelda.
Cap.
It was made by Capcom, and
Mhm.
it's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
excellent. Yeah, like it's pretty short. Like even by like I want to say even by the standards of the mobile Zelda games,
okay,
but
okay,
it's really well done while it lasts. So I would definitely recommend that.
okay. Yeah, that looks
Um,
cool.
I
I would
love
recommend like
Yoshi's Island.
oh yeah.
Yoshi's Island's
That's
great. Yeah,
yeah,
that was on
that's
Super Nintendo as well, though.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's a
I
port on
definitely
here,
played
but
that one. Yeah,
still worth playing.
but
You
yeah,
guys
for
think
sure.
we'll see
I'd
the
Isn't that
Pokemon game?
one?
one again.
What?
You guys think
I
we'll
was
see
gonna
the
say-
Pokemon game? Oh, sorry, Greg.
Oh, I was just gonna say, wasn't Yoshi's Island one of the ones that used the FX chip?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super pretty game.
I think there was a Super FX2 chip at one point. That might be one of the only games that ever used it. Now I have to check myself on that, but yeah, it was definitely a beautiful late life game on the Super
Yeah.
Nintendo. Stupid thing. Why
But
won't
yeah,
Okay, yes, I was right. Super FX2 was in Yoshi's Island. I had to make sure.
a
but
GBA
yeah.
game that I played for the first time last year, Metroid Zero Mission, was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember you talked about that.
I still haven't played Fusion. So I need to get to that. And Mary,
Oh,
you said
really?
that was great, right?
Yeah, I liked Fusion more than Zero Mission, but
What?
there's a story.
Let's
The
hear it.
last fight got me so mad, and then it threw me into the after part, and I was just not. I thought I was done. I was ready to be
The
done.
after part, I don't even
Okay.
want to spoil it because it wasn't spoiled for me,
funny.
so I was shocked. But after you beat that boss, I was amazed with the rest of the game. I like didn't even know it was coming.
I was not in the mood to continue playing. I was like, I thought I was
That's
done.
my favorite part. Is you didn't even like
This was
it.
a
No.
total betrayal of your trust.
Yes, I was like, I thought I was done. I was ready to be done, and the game was like, nope, there's more, and I was like,
It's good.
Little did you
I
know
get
there
that.
was a Zero Mission left.
So, sometimes
Or Zero
I
Mission.
get that though. Like even in games that you're enjoying, sometimes you're just like, you do the final boss and you're just ready. Like, regardless of how much fun, how into it you were, you're just like, okay, I've accepted it's over, it's done. And then sometimes it'll like pull the wool out and be like, no, it's like there's another 5 hours. And you're like, wait, I was ready for this to be done. Like, okay, now we're continuing. So I get that.
Yeah.
I just
I had a
remember
little
being,
bit of that. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I followed a guide and got like tons of life bars, so I just had to go in and fire and just keep getting hit, and then I ended up killing them without even having to do anything because like when you get hit, you're like you're invincible for a few seconds. So I just kept getting hit until my life was going down, 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 down. But before I hit the end, I killed him, so I was perfectly fine. I wasn't like all stressed out like she was probably.
Yeah, I didn't have I didn't 100% it, so I didn't have a lot of health, I don't think. I'll have to go see if I can find how much I had.
Was Paper Mario on GBA?
I don't think
No.
so. They did the
There
Mario.
Or I'm sorry,
yeah,
not
Mario
Paper
and
Mario.
Luigi.
Mario RPG is what I meant. The Mario RPG. Was that one on
No. No.
No.
It was Mario and Luigi. That
Yeah.
began life on Game Boy Advance.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the first one's the only one I ever played to completion. I loved that. I thought that actually was like a pretty worthy successor to Super Mario RPG. There's a lot of people that swear by Paper Mario, like the old ones at least. A lot of people like aren't too big on the new ones, but like I always preferred the other ones to Paper Mario. I like Super Mario RPG. I just love to death, and the original Mario and Luigi is just like it's so funny, and the gameplay is really good, and they brought back the really fun platforming for Mario RPG, and like it all just really came together well. So that's another one I would definitely recommend on GBA.
Yeah, Mario RPG is one of those games that for some reason I missed it, and I've always wanted to go back and play it. So that's why
you gotta get a Super Nintendo Classic. I think it's on there.
You want one?
I'm sure it'll be on Twitch.
I bought one for $3 at a thrift store.
$3?
Oh, wow.
For real?
Yeah,
That's a steal.
I would have done that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I had been actually at the time playing Mario RPG on my Super Nintendo, and like I was like, okay, I'm not gonna collect anymore. I'm gonna just like play the shit that I have, and so I started to like go back and play a couple games here and there, and Mario RPG was one of them. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go out and hunt a little bit today. And I went to this thrift store that's near my house, and this guy was like standing in the way, and I was like, that's not a Nintendo Classic. That's not a Super Nintendo Classic. I was like, there's no way. And I go over and look, and sure enough, they're all dirtied up and sitting under some boxes there.
Wow,
that's weird. I wonder why they were so cheap.
Jeez.
I don't know. And I got like a brand new PS4 controller, like for like $4. Yeah.
What in the hell is going on?
But then I'll go to like the PC games, and it's like World of Warcraft, like additional content, and it's like $29.99. Like, what are you?
People there don't know anything about price.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Man, I remember when they first announced the Super Nintendo Classic, like I was at work and there was a GameStop across the street from where I worked. And I like called the GameStop and like I got them like I forget what even happened, but like I went across the street to GameStop and there was this nice lady and she agreed to let me be on a list and she said she'd call me back when the pre-order started. And the pre-order started like an hour later and she called me. So then I raced back across the street and I got my pre-order in. And I told her I'd name all my kids after her.
What was their name?
I don't know.
That's her name. Judy.
SNES.
I forget if it was like Eva or Evangeline, something like that.
That's pretty
so, like,
deep nowadays. You might have to actually listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like like Evan, like Eve. There's a lot of
Evangelion.
I heard you on the podcast. My name is Laura.
All right, guys, we got a lot of news to get through, so we're already almost halfway through the show, probably. So this came out of nowhere. Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio are getting full-blown AAA reboots.
Yeah.
No one really like. I don't know if this speaks to a lot of people, but it definitely speaks to a lot of Sega fans and people who are fans of those franchises, obviously. Greg, I feel like you would be the most hyped about this. So how are you feeling?
To make some crazy money. Crazy taxi. Hell yeah, man. Dude, are you kidding me? Like, there's been so many people asking for both of these games, and there was a re-release on what PS4 and I think did Switch get one, or I can't remember if Switch got it or not.
I don't think Switch got it.
Of what
I know
game?
they got that like
Could be wrong.
spiritual successor, Crazy Taxi, because they did a bunch of like random releases for it. But I don't know. I think those are if they get some sort of like next gen like full on development versus a remaster. I'd be interested in that. I'd be interested in a remaster, but I also think games like Jet Set Radio or staples for Sega fans. But I feel like the internet has been requesting that for a long time to get something. And I know that other one recently came out too that was like a somewhat spiritual successor for it as well. But nothing.
Taxi
I think,
Chaos.
no, for
Jet Set.
It's like
yeah.
that Bomb Funk something or other. You talking about
Something
that
like
one?
that.
Yeah, but I think
looked
no one's
pretty
ever been able to really recapture the magic of the soundtrack and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I think they were excellently done mechanically, and I think they could pull off some awesome visuals. And I don't want to see Sega die, so I'm optimistic.
He's optimistic.
This is quite
John,
the
what
jump
about
you make from if Crazy Taxi doesn't succeed, Sega will die.
This is the make or break. Like this.
Putting your
I
you're
feel
putting your
like
prize IPs on the table, and you don't want to send them out to have another knock against Sega even after the success, I guess, of their cinematic universe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is a thing that just happened like a week ago.
In that time, that's like 5 years.
Sammy and 111 in the comments says Crazy Taxi needs to have Bad Religion and The Offspring on the soundtrack.
Totally,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
Hideki
That'd be
Nagamura
cool.
for Jet Set Radio 3. I don't know who that last one is. But,
Hideki and
That's
Nagamura.
the composer dude. I think he's also composing for Bomb Rush. I think. I forget.
now,
Yeah, it does
doesn't
say- it
Sega
does say
have
below
some
that
other
Bomb
IP
Rush Cyberpunk.
that we would prefer to get a AAA game for? But I'm not trying to piss people off, but I'm pretty sure Sega owns some pretty good stuff that they could be doing instead
But I
of.
feel
What
like
are you getting at,
these
Brett?
these are safe choices, man. These are copy sellers.
Well, I mean, no, here's the
They
thing.
are
Like
to a
both of those
certain
games were like
degree.
relatively niche in the first place,
Right,
at least
right.
compared to like Sonic and whatnot. So like it's not to say that like they're like a sure bet to make these games, because if that were the case, they never would have stopped making these games in the first place.
True.
But based off the Bloomberg report, which is really the source of all of this, they're talking about it in the context of like Fortnite and like basically what
Yeah.
sounds like the live
Live
service
service.
model.
It's
Like
gonna
these
frickin'
might
fail.
even end up being these might even end up being like free to play games.
Very
That
good,
sounds
very
terrible.
I
Just
don't
give me
I
like a
mean,
really good $60 game with no online
Yeah.
component at all, please.
I
that
feel
sounds
like
horrible, Brett.
I feel like me and you are in the minority. I would so much rather pay $60 to have a fantastic quality game. Not that free to play can't be good games, but you know what I mean? Like I would rather pay money to just have this awesome, phenomenal game that you can tell they just put so much heart into than just some free to play shit that they're gonna keep tacking on more stuff every month or every 2 months. But I'm kind of in the minority. I think too. I think more people are kind
think
of jumping on
kids
like the
care
games
about
of
it.
service and the
Yeah.
kids too. Yeah, because to them it's like, well, shit, yeah, I can keep playing this, and there's always going to be new content and more stuff to do. Which I don't know if you're into multiplayer stuff, which is generally what those are. Then sure, I guess that's kind of cool. But I don't know, man.
At least,
And I
like
was-
to a certain degree, free games have graduated to a higher tier quality.
For sure. I mean,
from
yeah.
what we used to expect from
There's-
free to play games.
No,
Definitely.
there's some free to play games that are fantastic and have totally broken the mold for what free to play used to be. But I don't know.
I mean, can we talk about Apex Legends? I mean,
That's not the
We
first
really
thing.
can't. There's just no time.
There's no time for that. Moving on.
We've always got our what we're playing, Greg. We've always got our what we're playing.
Now, guys, wouldn't it be cool?
So,
Wouldn't it be cool to have a AAA Panzer Dragoon that is like on foot as well as flying around in a world on a dragon thing? I think that'd be awesome. But that's going to be
Actually,
what
never played
Avatar
it.
is, basically.
but I think a lot of times, like a lot of these free to play games, like we look at them, we're like, oh yeah, free to play, whatever, and then you come to find out months later that they've been, generating 25 million a month in revenue. But I mean, I guess it's a necessary evil to publish games like these that are free to play, that are a live service, games as a service model, to then take that money and fund bigger projects like maybe a Panzer Dragoon on foot or something
Yeah.
bigger, more robust open world.
Yeah, maybe a new Shinobi or a new. I'm trying to look at their IP that I care about.
Just randomly.
That's new Yakuza, John. Something different, like another spinoff.
I think they're already working on that. Actually,
I'm
sure.
sure
There's Judgments, and then apparently they're working on like another new thing.
I feel like Yakuza really got a major bump like with its audience whenever the whole series came to Game Pass. Like so many people played it for the first time, which was really cool.
I feel like it was kind of hitting its stride right around then too. So it's like
because Like a Dragon also
Like a Dragon was
really
like phenomenally well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, for me like the Judgment games are to me more interesting. Like if I was going to jump in, they just seem a little bit more grounded, even though I'm sure they've still got their like wacky shit in the Judgment
Yeah,
games
I hear
too.
it's still kind of goofy.
Yeah.
I'll get to them eventually. I own them all. I'm just making my way through them bit by bit. I'm in 4 now.
And really quickly, before we just have to get this out of the way. And I know that we're not going to be able to show this, but can we please talk about the clip that you made us watch a few days ago?
I didn't see it.
John sent us a clip. John sent us a
man.
clip, and he literally says, "I asked that you watch this."
How long is it? Can we watch it now?
It's like a minute and a half. But
Yeah,
he's like,
it's
I
short.
asked that you watch this knowing that there's no context leading up to
There
it,
it
and there's
is.
no context after. It's just a part in the game that happened. And it
Is
was
this
the most
it?
random shit.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is it.
Oh my
There's-
god, Eric,
there's-
can you turn on sound? I gotta hear this.
The audio
Honestly-
people unfortunately won't be able to. Dude, this is
Okay, it's fine.
that's
It's
okay,
fine.
that's
Just
alright.
play it
It's
without
still
audio.
great.
There's only one
just
part where the
at
audio
least
is
show,
like
at
really
least
good.
show the guy
Yeah.
falling.
So
He's got
What?
panties
like a
on his
guy
head.
who stole her underwear, and he's like a ninja.
What
And
the?
he has literally nothing to do with the story. He only exists for this scene. And then
He's
I
not in the
presume you
rest of
never
the
see him
game?
again. Yeah,
And the best
I
part
see
is
a
there, like you said,
Rotusk
there's no
guy
context
flipping.
before or after.
none. Yes, this is just a thing that happens.
And like the music, and then he catches
Caught it.
himself with her bra or
There's
whatever.
no way that bra would have
Yeah.
held him.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
worry, it doesn't.
I mean,
Uh-oh.
industrial strength.
Now,
And he keeps
this is the funniest part because there's a choir playing when you actually
Yes,
play the game.
That's
It's like,
what I'm saying. You gotta watch it. Yep.
Oh my god. Okay, for the
music
audio
just ties it
listeners,
in.
a very chubby guy was
Yeah.
doing flips around a city with a girl's
Yeah.
underwear on his face, and he started to fall, and then he used the bra to hold himself up, and then it broke, and now he's falling through slow motion, and there's a choir playing.
And
Yes.
he's basically naked too. He's got on like underwear and knee-high
yeah,
socks,
with
and that's it.
suspenders.
And
Yeah.
her,
Suspenders on his underwear.
Very
and
attractive.
her underwear over his face. It's so
Yes.
stupid.
So
Oh man,
that's,
that made me
the-
laugh.
that's the strongest advertisement I can give for the franchise. So
And the whole time your character is recording it on his phone, right? And then after he's like
He's just like, this
he
is
like
just a normal
sends it to
Tuesday
somebody
night.
or something.
yeah, well, it's called a revelation, and when he sees crazy moments like that and like types about it on the internet, it inspires new powers.
Gotcha.
So he's getting
okay.
an idea for a new combat ability from watching
Because
that
of
crazy
that.
idiot.
I'm
Yeah.
watching some guy fall off the
Yep.
second story
Yeah.
building.
He's
with
like,
some
that
girl's
gives me an
panties on his
idea,
face.
and he learns a new combo or something.
Yeah.
Double
The
D
entire-
strike.
Oh
The
man.
entire
that made me
franchise
laugh.
is full of goofiness like that. And that's one of the many reasons why I love it to death.
I need to get
But
back
yeah.
to Zero, dude. It was good. I just
You
have so many
do,
freaking
dude.
games on the list.
Yeah. Like, even if you don't touch the franchise afterward, like Yakuza 0 is kind of a high point in itself. It's worth playing that game even in isolation. Yeah.
Awesome.
But real quick, to bring things back to the original topic, which was
Sorry, I
Crazy
derailed it.
Taxi and Jet Set Radio.
Wow, we are
um,
so far away.
It was related. This
but-
is Sega.
yeah,
technically.
yeah,
I
it's all
guess.
Sega. It's all good. But since it does sound like it's going the live service route, I will say one thing that may actually work in its favor is the fact that it's a live service game that isn't a first person shooter. So like, or a
Yeah.
battle royale especially, because like if you look at a game like Ubisoft's Hyperscape, that
Oh
was
my
a game
God.
we forgot about
Yuck.
almost immediately.
Terrible.
And then when Ubisoft announced that they were shutting it down, everyone was like, that
Oh, it's
still
still on?
existed?
Yeah, shutting down what?
Right?
Yeah, what's that?
So, like it seems like a lot of these developers forget that like when it comes to that first person shooter like online multiplayer pie, like it's not like there's like millions of different players like all dedicated to these different games. Like it's the same pool that are choosing to
Yeah.
play like maybe 2-3 of these games tops at a time. So like
Yeah.
you're not just building an audience, you're trying to siphon from these other existing audiences. That's
Sure,
really
that's
hard.
a good point. That's a good
So
point.
like Jet Set Radio does not have to compete with Call of Duty. Those things do not
Sure.
overlap.
Yeah.
So if anything stands a chance, it might actually be like these weird, unique experiences that aren't really competing with anything else.
It just seems like it's so hard to actually like penetrate the market with a new idea
Penetrate,
with
yeah.
like something like
Yeah.
Rocket League or
Yeah. Right.
'Cause
Well,
it- 'cause
even
we've been-
Rocket League took a while though, until Epic
Mhm.
Games stepped in.
No, I mean no, it was big before.
Oh no,
that.
it
You
was really
crazy.
big before
Yeah.
Epic
Yeah,
Games
it
bought
got massive.
It was
pretty
a
quick.
big free-to-play game, and there was a lot of
I'd say
stuff
it's
for sale,
not as
but I
big
don't think they
now.
were as profitable. I would say it's bigger. I'd
No.
look
Rocket
at the
League?
player
Oh, I
base.
I think it's
I
fallen
mean,
off a little.
with Epic's
Yeah.
backing, I'm sure it's doing very well for itself, and I would not be surprised whatsoever if it's more profitable by now.
Have they? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, but like no, but like Rocket League was definitely popular before Epic
Oh,
bought
yeah.
it.
Like it
No,
launched
for
on
sure.
PlayStation
It
Plus,
was
it was
massive.
huge.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
I loved it ever
Yep.
since then. Like, yeah.
Just because you were playing on PlayStation doesn't mean it was big. Fuck
No,
PlayStation.
it was a huge PlayStation Plus game. Like,
Oh, a huge PlayStation Plus game. All 10 of you who enjoyed PlayStation Plus
Dude,
subscriptions can play it.
they said that like
The same
PlayStation Plus
people
is the
playing the
reason
same
why
PlayStation
they
Plus
blew
games.
up. They already put
He's
out.
just saying.
Rocket
He's
League
just
is a
saying that
sequel,
that's how it
and
got.
people don't
its-
know about the first game. This is
Yeah.
actually Rocket League 2,
Well,
but
Rocket
but
Power
nobody,
Soccer Cars.
yeah, like nobody cared
True.
about it. But then they put
True.
it on PlayStation Plus, and then more people are willing to give it a shot, and then it becomes a phenomenon.
I think you're just
Right.
making this up in your head.
No,
It does. It does.
Look
make
at
me
I
wonder-
need numbers, man.
It does make me wonder. I've always wondered that. Like,
John wants to
like,
claw his eyes
obviously
out.
obviously it's a really good game, but I always wonder, like, if it didn't come out on PlayStation Plus and get so many people playing it just because it was one of the free games that month, I wonder if it would have still taken off the way it did. Because, like, I know for me, I would have never tried it if it wasn't just a free game that I got to play that month. So I
Yeah,
wonder how it would have gone if it wasn't a free game
Yeah.
at that time.
Eric posted in the chat that the first game was on PlayStation Plus, but nobody cared about PlayStation Plus on PS3 because you didn't need it to play online, so no one had it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Except me.
It was the
because
one
I
on
actually thought it was a
PS4
good game.
that mattered.
I remember going into Best Buy to get my PS4, like when it came out, and the girl there, she was like, "Here's for your online play." And I was like, "Oh, it's all right. I already have that." And she was like
Right.
so puzzled, like, "How do you possibly already have this? The PS4 is coming out tonight. It's midnight." Like, I was like, "No, there's already a thing. Like, I'm already subscribed to PlayStation Plus." And she was just like, "What? That's not possible." I
That's funny.
think she thought I was confused.
She's like, this guy.
But
Fake
now let's
gamer.
move on to one of our various other topics. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got moved up. The game is coming out sooner this July, which is awesome. Now, speaking of Xenoblade, this is sort of rushing things for our what we're playing section, but we might not even get to that. Greg, you recently started Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and you've been sending me screenshots and your thoughts. That's pretty exciting. So, how do you feel about the game? And then we'll get to Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Actually, just made all that up to make you feel better. I didn't really start the
Oh.
game. I don't
He's
like
like,
it.
I grabbed a couple screenshots from Google and sent them to you.
No, I really like it. I'm kind of sad that like I don't have I think I own it on Wii, I think, but like nothing to reference, prior to the remaster. So I really like that kind of comparison where I can see, what the world looked like before, what it looks like now, where they made improvements. But some of the things I do like is, the combat gets really complex like after the first couple of hours, and I like that. I like not just having like a break guard and then attack and then defend or run. Like there's at least a lot of side attacks, a rear attack. I'm really liking the way the game looks visually. I really like the cutscenes. I think a lot of them are come off really well polished in the way they look on the Switch. I played it on a couple different monitors and my TV, and then it probably looks the best on my TV. But even on I think we have a 65-inch, you can't really see any of the pixelation of like jagged edges or stuff in the distance. But overall, I'm really starting to enjoy and embrace the characters, which I think it's been something that I've been wanting to know about for a long time. Is like I don't even know who Shulk is other than him being in Smash.
Yeah.
And so like I at least have him to reference. And one thing I do like is that you can change their appearance aside from their armor sets.
Exactly. I love
And
that.
God, like
Why can't
thank
every
you.
game have that?
It's so stupid. Like why would you not want that?
Like
Like
transmog, right? Something like that. Transmog. Yeah.
so of course Shulk is running around in his chonies because his
dude,
beautiful British accent.
I'm still playing through Future Connected. I keep hopping back into it every now and then. It's like the expansion that came with that version that you're playing when it came to Switch,
Mhm.
and it's really good. And I'm like nearing the end of that expansion thing, but I don't know. There's something about the combat that it's like I can love a franchise, but not like the combat is kind of weird. And I hope that this new one, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, like the combat is like shaken up a bit, because I really don't like it in either game. Like I love everything else, literally everything else, but I'm not a fan of the combat, and that's like the core of the game. So I'm really hoping that this third one steps it up a bit, but it's probably going to be very similar.
Well, I
What's
mean,
the
this third
play?
one, they've revealed that you have like a 7-character party now, which is wild, or upward of
Jesus.
7. So, hopefully that'll do something new.
I wonder if it's like gonna be like the Final Fantasy VII remake where you can like constantly go back and forth between characters, or
You
if it's
can
more
in
like
the other
centric.
ones, so
Yeah,
you don't have to really.
I would imagine you'd be able to swap around. Yeah, but like, there's like 6 main characters, and then there's like a 7th slot for like random extra story people, I guess. And in the 6 characters, there's 3 different duos that can like team up for like a super form called Ouroboros. And
Yeah.
like maybe that's like the equivalent of limit breaks, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what they've revealed so far about the combat.
Brett, are you going to play this one?
I think so. I still am not. I haven't got like a 100% answer on whether you think I could just skip the other ones and just play this one. Like, do you
Probably.
think that's
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
If
I mean-
so, I think I will.
Apparently,
I-
this one will like.
Play him so I can have someone to talk to about him that's also experienced it for the first time.
They're just so long. That's my thing. It's like, aren't they both like
They're very
50
long.
to 70-hour games?
Yeah,
Like
they can be
70
as
to
long as
100.
you're willing to spend on them.
Yeah.
But
What-
I don't know. Maybe
one
this
thing
one
that I
won't be
think
as
it's-
long.
Yeah.
One thing that I think it's cool with this announcement is like, when do you ever hear about a game getting moved forward? Like, only 2022. Like, this has been the craziest year. Like the end of last year and the beginning of this year with like the acquisitions, and then now instead of delays, we're getting games moved up. There's not going to be a Call of Duty next year. Like, there's Just like what we're living in like bizarro world right now or something in the gaming industry. You know, it's crazy. So I thought that was a cool thing to hear.
I remember like some rumors from like 6 months ago that was like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is like completely finished and they're just sitting on it, and I was like, that's crazy. But now that
Wow.
since they were just able to move the
Yeah.
date up,
Yeah.
like it was no big deal. Maybe they have been done with this game for a while.
And supposedly
Starting to
there's
feel that way.
they haven't like explained why either, right? Like there's still no explanation as why they did it. Like what's going on here? Like
Sure,
really,
was
I
it-
mean, there's obviously a
Feel
reason
like it.
why.
They move.
Nintendo
Yeah, Mary's
tends
right.
to
They just felt like it.
Yeah, this felt like it.
Nintendo is pretty strategic with its releases and its timing of everything. So maybe they're like, hey guys, there's like not a lot coming out at all around this time, like
Yeah,
for the next
maybe.
like 3 months. So let's put out this game now and just the other game that was going to come out a little sooner. Let's just push that around
Advanced-
holiday time or something. Yeah, Advance Wars.
Wars got pushed off the
Yeah.
schedule, yeah, so we're not
Mhm.
really sure when that's gonna land. And so like there's some speculation just kind of filling a gap that Advance Wars left. But I mean, like I think sales wise Advance Wars is gonna do okay, but not great, not amazing. Like I think it's gonna do like Pikmin numbers. Like Pikmin did better than it ever had on Switch, but it still didn't do like anything approaching like Mario numbers, you know?
Mhm.
It wasn't
like
a new game though, was it?
Advance Wars?
Pikmin?
No,
It's a
Pikmin.
re-
No,
Pikmin.
Oh,
Pikmin.
Pikmin.
The
No,
Pikmin
yeah,
one.
it was it was deluxe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But,
like, how much marketing do you have to be able to pivot
Really.
like that, and like just upheave some money and put it somewhere else? Like, that's just
True.
crazy to me.
True, that is true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this probably took like a lot of work and changes, like when it comes to like the marketing and the scheduling and
Yeah.
Nintendo kind of plays by their own rules. Like there's Xbox, there's PC, there's PlayStation, and then Nintendo's like, "Fuck you guys, we're gonna play this game a different way." They just kind of do what they want. you
Yeah.
know?
yeah, they
Yeah.
really don't really have to think about the other guys all that much. Like,
Yeah, they're just in their own. Yeah,
they do like nice little second party deals with like Capcom for some random games and with Square Enix,
Right.
but aside from that, they really just do their own thing, and it doesn't even like they probably barely think about the other guys.
And if
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, we don't have anything to release," how about oh, I've got an Earthbound here. How about that?
They got games they're just sitting on. They're like, well, I guess we can just.
What if they were just like sitting on full games and like we didn't even know
Seriously.
it?
I'm sure they are, man. Like, look at
To
how
an
many
extent,
games,
yeah.
that have gone silent and you haven't heard anything about.
You guys think
Yeah.
that Breath of the Wild 2 is like done? They just pushed it because they're going to release another piece of hardware next year?
No,
No.
I really
No.
don't think so.
I think that one was
I
actually
fucking hope
delayed.
not.
Yeah.
If they did that, that'll make me so mad. I mean,
would
I guess
love
we'd
to play
never
it in
know, but-
4K though.
Well, for sure, absolutely, no question on that. But
Yeah. But
Do you guys want to talk about the next topic, or do you want to go into what we're playing? Because we don't have
Well,
that much time left.
how
I
much,
just
what is
I
the
was
next
gonna say
topic?
oh, that's right. There was I think actually I bet Square today is pretty annoyed about this shift in the Xenoblade release date because I think Xenoblade now comes out like 1 week after Live Alive.
Oh, geez.
So that's like
Mm.
one
That's the
big
same fan
RPG
base.
exclusive to Switch competing with another big RPG exclusive to
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah.
Man.
I'll say
Now
I
I'm
was
probably going to
counting
have
on
to have to
Xenoblade.
choose.
I was kind of on Xenoblade coming out later for that
Yeah.
reason, and because I need to play I was gonna try to play the other ones first, but now I'm like,
Right.
ugh, do I skip them?
Yeah.
Do I not? Like,
John's excitement for Live Alive totally sold me on that game though. Like it's not even
Yeah.
necessarily my kind of game, but I definitely want to try it just because like it made him so happy. So I'm like, it's got to be something special there.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely not another RPG like that. I can say that at least.
Nice. But yeah, now next on the list though, I'll just go down some of these. We don't have to do like extended topics because I do want to get to what we're playing. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Oh, we already talked about it. SMT5 hit 1 million units sold, which is awesome.
It's cool. Yeah.
I think
That's
it's like the
great.
best, like the fastest selling SMT game, right, John?
It's the highest selling in the series, like by far.
Oh, so it's the
It's already
highest
the
selling
highest
already.
selling?
Yeah.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
only
Of
been out,
like
Switch
two
like
months, 2-3
mainline, like
months?
obviously not including Persona, but like
Yeah.
SMT, yeah. Like
Wow,
highest
that's
selling by far.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool. Good for them.
I think a lot of it might have to do with the fact that, well, obviously the Switch. I mean, like
Yeah.
everything's been selling good on Switch.
Next topic.
But I think
Yeah.
Persona might have made a lot of people interested in it, like just because they're
Yeah.
similar in vibe and the same publisher. But anyway,
Mhm.
next up on the list, No More Heroes 3 is coming to other platforms, and I highly recommend playing it on those platforms if you're going to play it at all, because the game looked and ran terribly on Switch. No More Heroes 2 looks 3 times better than No More Heroes 3, which is
Really?
That's crazy.
bonkers.
Is there? They didn't announce like a release window or when to expect that, right? Like,
I think they did. I think
I
it already
think
has
they
like
said it was-
pre-order stuff.
Wasn't it this fall? I think.
PS5, yeah, this fall.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
well,
Now-
too bad I already own it, or else I'd be excited.
Now, Travis
I
has-
still haven't played it yet, though.
Travis has been on other platforms previously with like the PS3 release of No
Yeah,
More
he's
Heroes
been all
1.
over.
Yeah.
But I still always think of this franchise as like a Nintendo franchise, even though it's
Yeah,
on
it's
other
always
things.
felt like that.
Yeah.
Started on the Wii,
Yep.
Yep.
and he starts
then,
his escaper up by going like that. You know.
Jerking it.
Hey, how does he do it, John?
Slower.
Good.
Let me hit the screen record real quick.
Nintendo and Sony are changing their subscription auto renewal rules because of some people getting pissed and trying to sue them or something, and that's
Okay,
really
so-
good because
so
I hate those
explain-
things.
Explain this one. I didn't know
Yeah.
about this until I saw this on the.
Yeah, I didn't
on the
either.
agenda.
So
What's
currently, or maybe they already changed it, but before, if you subscribed for a year of PlayStation Plus or Nintendo Switch Online, it would automatically turn on your renewal thing,
Renewal,
so
your
that in a
auto
year
renew.
from now, it would just take the money out automatically.
Oh,
Now you have to
Gotcha.
actually have to opt into auto renewal,
okay.
which is
That's,
way
I guess that's a
better.
good thing.
Because this
At
has
the same
happened to me
time that
before.
At the same time, that sucks if like you like boot it up to play and all of a sudden it's like you can't go online. That's happened to me in the past too. Which obviously you just gotta re-up your
buy it, yeah.
subscription, but that's
Yeah.
happened to me before once.
And then one of the next ones is Vicarious Visions has officially merged with Blizzard as of this week. That's
Hey.
We were talking about that before the
Hey.
show started. They
Yeah.
recently did the Diablo 2 remaster remake ordeal, and then they did the Tony Hawk games as well. And aside from that, they did a lot of Skylanders stuff. But I think with Tony Hawk and with Diablo 2, they're really coming into their own and like becoming like a special studio, like a Blue Point or something.
I was just gonna say that Blue Point.
And it sucks that they've been basically not killed because they've been merged, but I have a feeling that their priorities are going to shift to random stuff like that's not like its own games. Like it's going to be like helping with other games.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they still could, have carved out that role of that's what they do, and maybe they just continue doing what they've been doing, but they're just officially under the Blizzard umbrella. So maybe things don't really change that much. I don't know.
yeah, I just don't see the point of merging them if nothing's going to change. Like if
Yeah.
they're still going to be doing
Yeah.
what they were doing before.
Maybe they're just going to be doing like DLC for Blizzard stuff, and
Yeah, it would
Maybe-
suck if they're just stuck on Overwatch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Overwatch, man.
Gosh.
It could have been an internal thing where they just needed to lump them into different, governing body of business so that they, for tax purposes or something, especially if it has to do with IPs that are being, separated out between them and the whole Activision deal. But I don't know. I feel like every game that you mentioned that they worked on, I felt visually looked great. Like not one of them that I'm like, oh, there was this part of the game that looked terrible or whatever. But like even the Tony Hawk games looked awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that they've grown enough and have, produced enough to kind of, solidify their pedigree. And I think they're one of the better. I mean, just from the outside looking in, better studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just it sucks because I feel like them and Toys for Bob, as mentioned by Sandman in the comments, they were both becoming like something really special. Like Toys for Bob just did Crash 4 that was received pretty damn well, and I thought like the Tony Hawk games and Crash, the trilogy and Crash 4, they seemed so un-Activision, like modern Activision, that I was like, wow, like they're actually becoming like a normal publisher that actually makes like that actually like diversifies and like offers a bunch of different games. But no, now Toys for Bob is working on Call of Duty maps, so
Yeah. That sucks. For sure. Hopefully it's
Yeah.
not. Hopefully it's not something like that. Because yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That does suck.
Yeah. Now, one thing that's not on the list that I know Brett probably wanted to talk about and John wanted to talk trash about is that
My
Amy
girl.
Hennig is officially back to
My
making
girl,
Star
Amy.
Wars.
Yes.
After EA shut down, what's their name?
Yes.
Dead Space Studio. It's escaping me.
Visceral.
Visceral, yeah.
Visceral, yeah. They shut down Visceral, and then Amy Hennig obviously didn't work there anymore. So that sucked. Kind of pissed me off because the game sounded awesome, and I love her work on Uncharted, and it sounded like Uncharted in the Star Wars universe. So that would be amazing to me. I know John probably wouldn't like that, but
It
so
depends
yeah,
how many ledges they have to climb.
she's at her new studio. What's it called? Sundance or something like that?
Skydance.
Skydance.
Skydance New Media.
Yeah.
And they have been given the Star Wars license, and they're making a AAA action adventure game. That's
In addition to the Marvel
Yes.
one they're already doing.
oh my god, yeah, I didn't think that.
Yeah, I was like, so this is different than the ones already like been announced. Like, how many
Yeah.
Star Wars games are there in
Right,
development right now?
And how many
God,
have
that
been
is a good
canceled?
question.
Too?
Yeah.
How
Not
many like started, got canceled, and restarted somewhere else? Like,
Actually,
Yeah.
no, that's a really good question. Real quick, let's think. All right,
Hang on. I saw a list earlier. I'm gonna find it.
no,
You
that's no
did?
fun. So Ubisoft with Massive Entertainment
Hang on,
is
d-
doing something.
Here we go.
And-
Jedi Fallen Order sequel respawn.
Yeah.
Star Wars FPS respawn. Star
Yeah.
Wars Eclipse Quantic Dream.
The closest one I'm thinking
This
of.
new Star Wars game with the Skydance, and story-driven open world game with Ubisoft Massive, and the KOTOR remake with Aspire.
Mm.
It's a lot of Star Wars.
And
Yes.
let's not forget Zynga's free-to-play thing that nobody cares about.
Yeah, that thing that's on Switch, right?
Yeah, it's Switch and mobile.
yeah.
Again, moneymakers.
Yeah.
There you go.
They need
Star-
revenue for the
anything-
big project.
You slap Star Wars on something, and did you guys say Jedi Fallen Order 2? Because that one's
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
Okay, you did say that. Okay.
That's expected to be
Yeah.
announced like in a
This year.
Yeah,
I thought it
within like the
I
next
thought it
3
was already
months.
announced. I thought it was already pretty much announced, like confirmed.
I think it had a soft announcement, but not like a real
Possibly, but-
reveal.
Yeah. I think the official
I-
reveal will happen like by August at the latest.
Mhm.
I loved that game. I know that John kind of trashed on it, saying there's a lot of climbing, but I loved it.
I didn't
or were
play
you
it.
talking about something else?
I was trashing
He was talking about
Uncharted 4.
Oh, Uncharted. Gotcha. Okay.
Now,
Yeah,
guys, oh, go ahead, Brett.
No, I was just gonna say I'm super excited about this. Not just because like I'm such a big Uncharted fan, but like I don't know. I was so bummed out when we heard about the original Amy Hennig game doing Star Wars, I was like, that's so smart. Like the creativity from her and her writing and directing from the Uncharted games, putting her into a Star Wars universe. Like it seems like something, because there's been so many damn iterations of Star Wars in movies, games, and books. Like it seemed like it could be something that's maybe a little bit different than a lot of the stuff that we get. And then it got shut down and I was so disappointed. So hearing this is coming back, and the main thing that I love, the narrative driven. I love that because they're going to be focusing so much on story. Exactly. My question is, I wonder if there's anything, because I know she can't just like take what they worked on with EA.
I was literally just about to say that.
I wonder if there's like anything that she was like sitting on, like for ideas and stuff that she's like, okay, we're going to bring this over because this was going to be awesome. And
I wonder what the rules are, because I know if you work for a company, like anything I create while being employed at Enthusiast Gaming is theirs. It's not mine.
Right. Even if it's canceled, like you still can't just take that and
So I don't think she can just be like, okay, let's just move all this work over here.
Right. But maybe there's stuff they didn't even know about that like she had been sitting on. That's kind of what I was thinking,
or maybe there's like a secret deal that they made that's like, okay, we're gonna cancel the game and you're all fired, but you can take your project somewhere else.
Sure.
Yeah.
You take your project and get the hell out.
And speaking of that, I remember because I'm pretty sure EA shut down Visceral not long after, or right around the time Jedi Fallen Order launched, and I remember hearing rumors around then that EA wasn't very confident in the game in general, and in Fallen Order, not Visceral's game. But then Fallen Order came out and was like this huge success that sold really well, and they were totally shocked, like they were dumbfounded, like people still like single player games. What's going on, guys?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
And then they just shut down Visceral, so I can't help but feel like they were probably like, shit. Why did we do that?
True. That's a good point.
Why did we shut them down? They were making exactly what Fallen Order is, basically, but probably better. But
I'm
no,
excited
yeah.
for that personally.
The
Big
last
time.
topic of today, before we get to what we're playing,
is Better Call Saul. First 2 episodes last night.
They were fire. Fans think Breath of the Wild 2 looks so good it has to be running on a Switch Pro. Now, this actually is from Digital Foundry, where I heard this. But I stole the title from Destructoid's article. Digital Foundry has a podcast where they talk about all the stuff like in the week, and he was like, "This looks like." With the way like things are rendering when there's camera cuts, it looks too good to be running on Switch. Like they cannot pop in that fast, that quickly on the Switch hardware. And Nintendo typically doesn't use like a PC running the game for their trailers. They always actually use Switch gameplay. So that's why this seems a little different than usual. And they were also saying that like the texture rendering was like more like higher sampled than Breath of the Wild 1, which obviously that could just be they improved it. But Breath of the Wild 1 honestly didn't really run that great on Switch hardware. So I don't know. That could have been maybe because it was originally a Wii U game, but I think this game might from what we're seeing might actually be on stronger hardware, or maybe it is for once just they used a PC to do the trailer and not an actual
like
Switch.
Breath of the Wild to me though. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks like
I said this so long ago.
Like I didn't have issues with Breath of the Wild on Switch, so like seeing this, I'm like, it just looks like Breath of the Wild.
Right.
You mean to
Like,
tell me when you went into the Korok City to pull the Master Sword that it was running at higher than 10 frames per second? Because I just did that today, and it was running terribly. I could not believe it.
I remember no hiccups or anything.
Yeah, I don't care. We've discussed this before. Like, I don't care about frame rate like almost at all. So like,
that's not what this is about,
like,
guys. This is about
we're gonna make it about that,
hardware.
right? Okay.
We have a faulty Switch. My Switch is better than yours. Like, I don't know.
I would say yes. And there's like certain things like, okay, like if you have a draw distance in a massive world that can't, produce these images.
That was another thing. The draw distance is more
to showcase where you're going to be heading to in this massive open world experience. Then like that takes away from the overall game experience and being invested in it. So I said that a long time ago, and I do think there are certain elements that would point to, I mean, like, look at the lighting. Come on.
It looks better than Switch. Like, it looks better than Switch can do, I think.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Breath of the Wild playing Breath of the Wild right now.
Breath of the Wild 1 in general looked good, not great.
Here's the thing, though, and I use this example a lot because they absolutely nailed it. But like, Astral Chain is like one of the prettiest games I've ever played, and that's a Switch game. Like, I think Astral Chain is absolutely beautiful. So it's not like they can't pull it off.
Yeah, but that's not an open world game.
I understand that. I understand, but I think like Mary was saying, I haven't seen anything that's like from Breath of the Wild 2 that I just like completely blown away where I'm like, there's no way that has to run on a different.
It's not like this mind-shattering thing. It's just like those clouds would take longer to pop in on current Switch hardware. Like, it's little stuff like that.
I mean, isn't it just possible though that like those scenes are pre-rendered?
Right.
I don't think they were though. I think I can usually tell.
Well, I mean, that's my point though. Like, I mean, you could do that in a way where it's pre-rendered, but it doesn't look it. Like, like for instance,
interesting.
To go back to Digital Foundry, for instance, I watched when Horizon Forbidden West came out, I watched one of their videos about that game, and they showed that there's this big long cool sequence towards the beginning of the game, and there's a lot of fast cutaways, and it's stuff that the PlayStation 5 can handle no problem because it's PlayStation 5, but PlayStation 4, that's a little too much. And Digital Foundry looked at that scene and they realized the PlayStation 5 version is all real time, but PlayStation 4 version, it's a pre-rendered video.
I know the exact scene you're talking about, and even on my PS5 in real time, it was horrible like performance right there. I was like, what the heck? They opened the game with this?
Is it like that first fight?
She's traveling, and it's like showing all the different environments.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Like everything was popping in every time the camera cut. Like all the environments were popping.
Actually, that I do remember some bad pop in myself. Yeah, that's
I
true.
did see some pop in Horizon, and I don't have much to say negative about that game, but yeah, I did see some pop in throughout the game a little bit.
Yeah.
It was mostly just that cutscene for me.
Well, you've only played about 5 hours of the game, so you
Hey,
wouldn't know.
I'm about 20 hours deep, sir. 20 hours in.
I'm just giving you shit.
Speaking of what we're playing, it's finally time. Mary, what are you
It's
playing?
time.
All right. Well, speaking of Horizon Forbidden West, I finished it. I did it.
Nice.
Oh,
Wow.
all right.
Damn.
I love it.
I have thoughts and feelings. Not all good, unfortunately. I'm still kind of letting it settle. But
When did you beat it?
this weekend.
This weekend. Okay. Am I
Yeah.
the only other person that's beat it on the show? I am, huh?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I get to go pick Tunic back up because I realized I was playing too many things at once, and Tunic was the easiest one to put down since I'd only put like about 2 hours into it. So I'm gonna start picking that back up, finish that. I'm really looking forward to completing it. Trying to think what else I was eyeballing. Oh, Cat Cafe just
Cat
came out
Cafe.
on Steam and it just looks so cute. So it was on my wish list. I bought it, so I'm probably gonna start that at some point. It's gonna be my nice little, my cozy, relaxed game.
Nice.
That's nice.
Now, Brett, what have you been playing?
And me and you have kind of talked. Did she just meow?
No, that was great.
No.
She ended her little thing with a meow. I'm like, that's so good. No, Brett, me and you have been talking like off the show. I mean, we talk like all day long, but like I was telling you yesterday, I'm in a funk right now. Like I am struggling to find anything that's like grabbing me, and maybe it's just timing, but like that Ono mutationum, I think is how you say it. By all means, it's such a Brett Larson game, and it should be something that I'm just into, but I'm struggling with it. Like, so like the basis of the game is like there's some event that happens, and you're in like a post-apocalyptic world, and like this event either kills all these people, or the people that don't get killed are like turning into like machines, androids. So like a normal person has grown like 4 robotic arms, or some people aren't affected at all if they're lucky, but a lot of people die. So it's like it's a really interesting take on like post apocalyptic, instead of just like everyone turns into zombies, like they're turning into machines. And it's like such a very visually pleasing game, but I'm just struggling, really having a hard time getting into it for some reason. And maybe it's one I put down and come back to later. So I started the Skywalker saga, and I'm the order I'm going to play that in is the order that the movie's released: 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. And I beat.
You said that really fast. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I beat episode 4 the night before last, and at first it took me a minute to get into, but I'm starting to kind of like, because sometimes like Lego games, like they're fun, but like the comic relief part of it, sometimes like I like a little bit more serious tone in certain games, and like so you kind of just have to like be ready for like that it's taking something you know and love and like putting its own like funny spin on it. So but I'm getting there. I'm starting to get into that a little bit more. But yeah, I'm just not super into anything. So I've decided, like Mary just said, I'm gonna try Tunic, and that's gonna be my next game.
Nice. Now, Brett said, it's taking something you know and love. I think what he meant to say was, it's taking something you know.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I just wanted to. I was trying to shoot my shot at The Last Jedi, but I ended up dissing the entire franchise.
Man,
Nice.
You're gonna have some comments, all right, but they won't be good comments, Brett.
You know, I don't like aligning with the overly annoying people who hate everything on the internet, but when it comes to The Last Jedi,
Yes.
I do agree. And same with The Last of Us 2. Like,
yeah.
I don't like that I agree with the annoying people, but I mean, I just really don't like those things. John, what are you playing?
I've been playing myself.
Oh, wow.
Damn, son.
Little.
No More Heroes 1, huh? Shut up, boy. Do it.
So, as I said, I've been playing Yakuza 4, of course. That's the latest stop on my Yakuza train. I don't know, maybe like 2/5 of the way through that. Like I mostly played it on the weekends, and I had heard that this one is like kind of like a low point for the series, but I'm really liking it so far. It like finally lets you be like different characters and stuff, and like I'm enjoying the change of pace because like these new characters are getting like side quests and stuff that like wouldn't happen to the guys I've been playing as this whole time. So it
Mm.
actually feels like a fresh experience. So that's nice. But aside from Yakuza, I've been on I've been on a really hardcore Sega kick, I guess. I've been playing a game that none of you guys care about. I've been playing the original Fantasy Star, which is from
Wow.
like I think it might be like 1987, maybe. I think like 87, 88. It was before I was born, and I'm
15
ancient,
years
so,
after
you know.
Greg was born.
Okay, there we go. And it was on the Sega Master System. Yeah,
I
there
just
it is.
asked that if it was a Master System or a Genesis game.
Yeah. The rest of the games appeared on the Genesis, but this first one was the Master System, and I love this game because it's genuinely so ultra old school. I just hammer the A button nonstop, and that's how I play like the whole game. Like every single fight, I don't even have to look at the screen. I'll watch a TV show and hit the A button and wait for the fight to be over. And like that's like the
And
whole
that's
game.
a good or a bad
What
thing?
a
I
game.
love
What
it.
an amazing
That's
game.
great.
Mind blowing.
Like
Of its time.
oh no, we just
Uh-oh. We
lost
lost
Brett.
our fearless leader.
Oh man. Huh. Well,
Excellent. A
Please.
second week without.
There he
Oh.
is. He's
There he
back.
is.
There
We
he
lost
is.
you, Brett.
he's back.
So yeah,
Now we just have to.
or something like that.
There we go. All right.
Hammer and
looks
his A
like
button.
yeah, hammering the A button. I think
Hammer the A button.
I might actually write an op-ed at the Escapist about it because I'm just so amused by this that like there's like kind of like a zen state to playing this old Fantasy Star, like the original Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior on the NES. Like these are like extremely simple games where there's just the simple pleasure of watching numbers tick up. Like you hammer the A button, everything dies, you get some experience, and then you level up. And like if it's like it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like the purest form of like input in, input out. Like you focused on a task and you achieved it. If I hit the A button enough times, I will become powerful enough to beat this dungeon and continue.
It'd
And
be
like,
nice if you had. It'd be nice if you had one of those old controllers that
the
cheat
turbo
when you turn
button,
on
right?
Turbo, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I know, like I wish they would have added that to this version of the game, but you know, that's all right. Like I can take on this task of tapping the A button, but like
A button.
it's just really
That's fun.
satisfying. It's a game where I can just completely turn my brain off and like I'm making progress without even thinking. Like there's a beauty to that.
There
That's
it
fun.
is.
What's the? How long is it? Game.
Oh, we lost Brett again.
Oh, Greg, I got that. I got his joke. How long is it?
Where? What is Brett doing?
I don't know. Maybe he's going off to play Fantasy Star. I just sold him on it so
He's like-
hard that he
Yeah,
has to
he's
try
like,
it
gotta
out.
go.
Button. I've got to go
downloading
now.
this shit right now.
But yeah, like I mean, I'm using a strategy guide to figure out how to get to point A to point B because like it's one of these old school games where it doesn't really tell you much of anything at all. So
Mm.
either I use a strategy guide or I'm gonna spend like 2 hours figuring out where to go next. So
So
might as well like
Fantasy-
save time in my life.
Fantasy Star says on how long to beat between 16 to 20 hours.
That sounds reasonable, yeah. Yeah,
So,
something
and
like
I
that.
know I don't know if you guys use how long to beat or not, but like
Mm.
almost any time when I go how long to beat, like if it says
And he's
15
back.
hours, I always tack on at least another few hours. It seems like it's never
Mhm.
accurate. So
Yeah, I tend to
Probably around-
finish games slowly anyway. Yeah.
Same.
yeah, me too. I'm the same. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I
And-
keep disappearing because my internet's dropping.
Well, we were saying that you were so excited about his recap of Fantasy Star, you jumped off so you could go download it.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
That's actually what I did in that short amount of time.
I think the game's only like $5 on the eShop or something. So, you know, like
Interesting.
can't say it's not a good investment. Yeah. If you want
Yeah.
to completely turn your brain off.
Have we gotten to John? I mean, not John. Greg about what he's
Okay,
playing
I'm
yet?
playing Yakuza 4.
Yeah.
Redo.
After all that. No, I don't think we got to Greg, but we know he's playing Apex Legends. So
And Xenoblade.
let's start
Some
with
Rocket
that.
League.
Rocket League himself.
I'm just giving you shit, Greg. What are you playing right now, man?
Playing with John.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like I said earlier, started Xenoblade. I don't even know why. I was just like bored.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, the definitive. I was like, oh, definitive edition. Cool.
So random. You should have just waited for the third one.
No, I think it was because I was drunk at the time, and I was just like, easy buy. And like you guys had talked so many good things about it, so I was just like, and plus it was one of the games where I'm like, I'm gonna play it now or never play it, and so I decided to start that journey, and luckily I did because I could potentially finish 1 and 2 before 3, but I probably won't even finish 1.
Yeah, you
But,
won't. This game is like 75
real.
hours long.
I'm like the 60% person. Like all my games, Jedi Fallen Order 60%, Mario RPG about 60%, Xenoblade same thing. But
that hurts me. It hurts me knowing you don't finish the games. Like that's like me with that Ono game. I don't mean to cut you off. It's like I'm to the point where I've decided I'm just not having fun with it, but at the same time there's like a part of me that's like, you gotta finish it. Like I can't stop. Yeah, I played it for like 5 hours and like now I'm just not gonna finish it. Like it drives me nuts. So
but I get into that funk too, and then I'm like, one day I'll pick up, I'm like, oh yeah, I should go back and play this. And then like 15 hours later, I haven't showered. There's like Doritos dust on my shirt. And I'm like, my third Rockstar in, I'm like, I guess fucking finish it. I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing that. I'm surprised because I keep going back to it and progressing it and learning something new. And
Story's good.
Yeah, I really, I think that was the turning point, is like you guys describing where it takes place and like what's happening and like actually seeing it firsthand. I'm like, this is so crazy because I know what this is. Yeah. And like, seeing it unfold, right in front of me is pretty cool. But yeah, I've also been playing Apex Legends and Rocket League.
No,
and
you haven't.
I've been getting so much better at sniping. There was one game I was streaming. I hit like 7 shots in a row, like all snipe downs, kills, and like shield breaks. And like sometimes it's really challenging, especially in PC lobbies when people are tap strafing all over the place and you're just trying to nail a shot. And like I've hit some shots from like, I don't know, I forget if it's measured in kilometers or yards or whatever, but like from like 600 yards out, like super far, like they're just a little speck on the map. And I'm just glad that I'm finding new ways to enjoy it. And that also means, finding new people to play with and stuff. And so if you're ever on Apex Legends and you want to play, add me. Be more than willing to jump into a match with you. So
nice.
Yeah, I've been tuning into your stream again. I make a comment and then you don't respond.
Yeah, he does that.
Because you did it over CJ, and I was like, "What's up, CJ?" And then like somehow I randomly clipped it, and I had to go back and delete it. For some reason, I clipped that saying hi to you. I don't know.
Yeah, if you ever see Curtis Slimmy Music on YouTube, that's me. I use his YouTube account because he pays for YouTube Premium.
So that's to cuss people out on.
Exactly, dude. I can be myself with this game. I'm just going crazy on there. He don't even know what people think of him.
He's the most hated man on the internet.
I can finally give people my thoughts without getting freaking canceled or something.
You're just slime ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's cool. I'm finally ready to talk about what I'm playing.
Yeah,
I randomly picked up Breath of the Wild, just play the intro scene, just to feel that world again, to get a little prepared for the sequel. Little did I know it was going to suck me in all over again. That kind of sounded sexual.
Yes, it did.
But so I did the whole like opening, what's it called, the plateau or whatever, and I was like, you know what, I might as well just go around and do some shrines because I didn't do a lot of them my first playthrough. Like I'm sure I still had like 50 still left. I don't even know how much there is, but I had a lot left. So I've been re-experiencing this game, fully from beginning to end. Because my first playthrough, I started it, I played like 10, 15, maybe 20 hours, and I stopped because I was like, this isn't Zelda to me. Like, and that was back when I didn't care about not finishing games. Now that would be insane for me to do. But
That was like 2 years ago.
no, it was like
5 years ago.
Yeah, 5
yeah,
years
so
now. Yeah.
it was so a year later, I hopped back into it in 2018, and I beat it, and I was like, okay, I didn't give it the credit it deserved. I actually started to understand it a bit more. But by the time I fully understood it, I'm learning now, I'd already beaten the game and moved on. But now that I started from the beginning and I'm playing it all the way through, I'm 3 beasts in now. I have 1 left, and then I'm fighting Ganon.
Oh, damn,
This
you're already on the
game,
4th beast.
this game's a masterpiece. It's stunning. It's beautiful. The structure of it's perfect. The weapon breaking actually is pretty cool because it forces you to diversify what you're using, and you're finding cool weapons. And this time, I'm actually using the weapons I find, because last time, anytime I found something nice, I was like, I'll just hang on to that for later. So then I end up
Yeah.
using just shitty weapons the entire time.
Mhm.
But this time, I'm just using all the awesome weapons. And I'm enjoying it way more. And I just got the Master Sword and the Highland Shield, and it's just freaking awesome. It's the only thing I don't like, honestly, is the horse system. It still annoys me because your horse is never around. You have to get it from like a horse stable, and I've used the horse like twice because I can never actually call it because it's always like Mabel doesn't hear you or something like that. Whatever.
Not the greatest.
So I hope they change that and just bring back Epona, and she's just always there, like ready to go. And of course, I would love if they brought back like the hook shot and stuff in the sequel. But the game really, I mean, this is like old news, obviously, but I'm finally realizing and fully experiencing this game. It's awesome. Like, it's one of the best Zelda games, and I'm gonna put it on my favorite games of all time list when I'm done with it.
Ooh.
And that's pretty much it. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, the voice acting's not good. That's another thing I don't like. I don't know why they decided to hire people off the street for one of the biggest franchises in the world, but I don't know what they were thinking. But
They go into a 7-Eleven and they're like, hey, you make what, $12 an hour? All right, we'll pay you a couple $100 to do some voice acting for us.
yeah,
Hey, you with the burrito, come read some lines.
Yeah.
You ever wanted to be a princess? No.
Then
on
you
over.
get the job.
Just recorded that line. You're in the game now.
Yeah.
Just have to modulate a little bit, and it'll sound just like Princess Zelda.
Good
Sound
game.
like
I
Eric.
think I am, before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, I think I will probably replay it again as well. Brett knows this. I hate
You're not
replaying
gonna
games.
replay it. You're not.
And
gonna
I hate replaying games, and I hate rewatching things. Even stuff that I absolutely love, I just don't replay or rewatch stuff. Very, very seldom do I. So I say that, but I probably won't.
Dude, I honestly think if you are planning on playing this game before the sequel, you might want to do it like right now, because if you play through
So I
this
don't get
whole
burned
game
out.
before the sequel, like right before it, you're going to be burnt
Yeah.
out on the structure, because I'm
That's
sure
what
it's
I
going to
was
be very
thinking.
similar.
Maybe.
So I'm
yeah.
glad I'm playing
Yeah.
it right now, because then in like a year or something, when that game finally comes out, I'll be ready. But
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But I think it's a perfect game to play for you right now, actually, because you can either get 150% invested, or you can be not invested at all and just run around and do shit.
I
Yeah.
honestly
Yeah.
wish someone else would have been playing this at the same time as me, because there's so many like random stories and random things that you discover that's like, man, I wish I could like tell someone else who's like playing the game right now.
Yeah.
And it actually made me go back and listen to like podcast episodes from like 5 years ago of them all talking about Breath of the Wild like it's brand new.
That's cool.
So I'm kind of feeling nostalgic about this game now, because I'm like going back in time and re-experiencing it, and yeah, it's great. And I
Total
talked a lot of
masterpiece.
crap on it in the past, so I take it all back.
I recall.
Yeah, we all do, Brett.
I mean, I still would talk crap on it because it does do some wrong
Instead of a
things.
rant, you should just issue a just massive apology right now, please.
I might do
The
a
floor is
video
yours.
on TikTok.
It's
I
gonna
was
do a
wrong
full
about Breath
video.
of the Wild. It's gonna be one of my rants. I'll be like, I was a fucking idiot. Any other thoughts,
imagine you-
topics, ideas?
I imagine you like after you make this video and you're like, now out of shame I must leave my family forever. and you like disappear to like South America.
Start over a brand new life.
Like
Yeah.
Thanos at the end of Infinity War. He's just like out in that field staring.
Yeah.
You just show up on camera with Eric. We're like, what?
Yeah.
And you can have auto-tuned adventures together.
Yep.
This sounds
Eric,
awesome.
Are you still
Go
there,
live your
Eric, with
life,
the
Brett.
auto-tune? What, Greg? Eric, are you there?
Maybe not.
No, he's gone. I was
I
like,
think
screw
he's
these
trying to
guys.
set
I'll
it
just
up.
leave my.
He's warming up
Never mind.
He's warming up his dinner.
Eric,
His
sing us a
vocals.
song real fast.
There he is. There he is.
I keep talking right when he does it, and I don't hear it.
Oh,
I'm
man,
still
that's great.
disappointed. I'm still disappointed that Brett is playing Breath of the Wild
Oh yeah.
over a brand new AAA game that is the sequel to his favorite PlayStation 4 game. But we can
Dude.
save that for another
This
day.
has
We
further
don't
made
need
me
to know that.
realize that Horizon Forbidden West
Don't
is
say it.
not very
Don't.
good. It's not.
I mean, how
Like,
can you blame them? One game is better than the other?
I abandoned the game for GTA 5. I'm still playing that. I didn't beat that. And then I abandoned it for The Witcher 2, an old ass game that I played all the way through and beat. And then I abandoned it for Breath of the Wild, that I'm gonna beat before I get back to it.
But if this
I
was an
feel like-
Xbox or a Nintendo game, he would have beat it in like 3 days. So
If it was good, that's the difference.
Okay, I feel like I need to
Ooh.
revisit
I'm
Horizon.
just giving you shit. Hey, Mary, we'll have to talk off the show about the ending because yeah, it's interesting
Yeah.
for sure.
Forbidden West is
People,
making me.
it didn't affect me the way that it did you. There's a group chat that I'm in where someone was like, that ending was terrible, and then I'm like, I didn't feel that way, and another person I talked to kind of felt the same way as me. So it's very it's very, like a lot of people are kind of like polar opposites on how they felt about the ending. So interesting.
I'll just assume that Aloy dies.
She gets
But right,
decapitated.
Forbidden
Yes.
West. Brett, Forbidden West is honestly making me question if I ever really loved Horizon 1. Like, maybe I'd hate it now.
Yeah.
I played it.
And that's the episode, people. That is a wrap.
Hey,
I'm
you
curious.
just-
I really am curious. I
Somebody
think
out too?
Horizon 1 was much better. And John just played it not long ago, and I think he agrees.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with you saying that the first one's better. I mean, that's totally subjective. But
I'm scared to play it now. So I'm gonna be like, oh shit,
I'm
this
just
one
not-
sucks too.
I'm just not going to talk anymore because like it physically hurts me to hear you say stuff like that. So I'm just gonna smile for the rest of the episode.
This is starting to sound like it could be like the premise of like a really, really bad Twilight Zone episode where like every time you go back to play a game you loved, suddenly it sucks now.
Yeah,
And, like this is like the curse you have in your life.
It's awful. See,
Wait,
that's
John,
for
that's a
me.
good TikTok. Oh my god, like
No,
I'm gonna go play a game I loved as a kid, and then you're playing it like, oh man, this.
there's a little bit of truth behind that for me on why I never rewatch stuff and why I never replay stuff, because what made a game special the first time is like that element of what's going to happen next and like being in the moment of like some really cool part. But like when you go back and play it again, you're like, all right, I know what's happening here, I know what to expect here. So that's why I just don't replay stuff. Like what made it special was not knowing what's going to happen next. For me, anyways. Some people can replay shit over and over and over, but
Yeah.
What about classic games?
what about what?
What?
Like classic games? Do you go back and play like retro
Doesn't
games
play
over?
any retro games.
Yeah, not really. I mean, my thing is,
Disgust me.
if it's been long enough, I can go back and play it. Like if it's been years, I can go back and play it again. But like some people are like, I love that game, and then they'll immediately restart out like New Game Plus, like
Oh, I
2
can't do
days
that
after beating
usually.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do that. You know?
Yeah,
But
I
I
never
do
do that.
replay. I replay lots of games, but typically never any like massive games. But I'll definitely replay like a Resident Evil game or something, like an 8-hour game. But nothing like.
Yeah.
I'll probably never play The Witcher 2 ever again because
Yeah.
it's just long. It is what it is, and it's done forever. It's kind of sad when you think about it. Like I close the game and I'll never close it again. It's kind of like thinking about when you'll hold your kid for the last time. Just as sad as the Witcher 2.
It's kind of like knowing that I just went up in pant size and I'll never fit in that old pant size ever again.
Exactly. Ever again.
There's suddenly choir music playing as Brett puts away the pen.
I'm folding him.
I mean, think about it. There was a last time that you played a Nintendo
Why is it
GameCube.
so dusty?
It's in my basement.
That thing's
Everything's
filthy
dusty.
looking.
It's like it's been sitting in the trash can down here.
Got dusty as
Yeah.
controllers.
That I've got.
That's
Yeah.
abuse.
Abuse.
Better not
Okay.
have given you that one because I'll sock you up if that was. Ooh.
What?
I said I better not have given you that console because I'll sock you up
no.
if that's what.
My sister just gave me this. She gave it to me dusty.
Oh.
It was sitting in her
Okay.
basement when I got it, and I haven't cleaned it or nothing.
No, but I think that's fair. Like I'm about the same way. Like if I put something down and even remotely memorable, I don't want to tarnish that again. But at the
Right.
same time, games like Resident Evil, Sunset Riders, Turtles in Time, A Link to the Past. Like I'll go back and play those, more than once, a
Honestly,
couple times out of the year.
I play through Resident Evil 4 pretty much every single year since it came out, and it genuinely will really make me sad when I'm like 80 years old and on my deathbed, and I'm like, this is the last time I'm ever gonna play this game. It'll honestly make me like extremely sad. It's gonna be like when my childhood home gets sold or something. Like all life is sadness. That's basically what we're gonna end the podcast on. So
It's just the whole our life. Everything is just a
Oh, yeah.
disappointment.
Video games are
Especially
all
for a
about
sports fan.
contemplating the mortal coil.
Yes.
yep, we were all
Although-
born just to be sad and crying all the time.
Yeah.
Although,
So this is what your family vacation does to you.
Exactly. Mary, if people want to know where to go to find you, where can they go?
You can find me over on the Destructoid show on Snapchat and TikTok, doing some fun stuff there. You can also find me on Twitch and Twitter. Mary wants a cookie.
Awesome. There's gonna be one last time I pet this dog before he's gone.
Dude,
I'm
that
just
is
kidding.
dark. That is
I'm just
dark.
kidding.
Into the happiest place on earth.
Yeah. That poor guy. Look at him. He just wants to keep getting petted.
No,
Came back
but for
Toy
real,
Story.
all jokes aside, everything's fine. Everybody's happy. Over on TikTok, we're starting to grow a lot. So please go over there and check
Yeah.
out Destructoid
Awesome.
on TikTok. We're working really hard on that, and we've had some ones do really well, which is really awesome. And yeah, definitely check that out. Greg, what about you? If people want to know where to go,
Hold on, enjoy this for one more minute.
what's that noise? Is that
I think
Eric?
it's Eric.
Eric's
He's
not
like-
muted.
Eric just had a stroke.
we just hear someone like trying to hold in a laugh.
Something made him happy.
I was like, who's
man.
on this call that I don't know about? Because Eric never talks.
somebody's like making ice or something.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Demonic voice.
Greg,
You can find me over on all my social channels at dynamite_giraffe over on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. And then over on PC Invasion, occasionally write news over there. My bylines are over there, PCInvasion.com. And I forget what the next thing I have on my schedule is for Twitch, but it'll probably be tomorrow and Thursday night. I'm going to do some more Star Wars, Skywalker Saga, and then also Apex Legends. You son of a gun.
awesome.
Nice.
Brett, if people want to know where they can find your nudes, where can they go?
I want to find my nudes. I've got an OnlyFans account at B. Oh no, I'm just joking. One of these days, I'm gonna be able to say something cool like I'm an indie developer like John. But as for now, you can find me on the Twitter B_Lars24, and of course here every Tuesday at 7 Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
7
Yep,
p.m.
that
Eastern.
is correct.
And John, lastly, what about you? Actually, I'll be last, actually, so never mind. Where can people find you?
You can find me at the graveyard after everything we've discussed today.
Jesus.
One day.
One day,
One day we will all be
looking forward to it.
dust. Why do we
you
live?
can find me
just
on
to
Twitter.
suffer?
It's my name. Just my name on Twitter, John Frisha, and you can catch me at The Escapist. I'm writing news there most days. Sometimes I chip in an op-ed. Like I said, maybe I'll talk about the glory of hammering the A button. Well, stay tuned on that front.
Hammer the
And
A.
yeah, baby. And I'm making an indie game called Boss Saga, where you play as the bosses and you beat up the heroes. Release date 2055. Stay tuned. But even I'm starting to forget the link to that, but it's boss-saga.com if you want to check out the game. And it'll be a good time in 50 years.
Nice, man.
John, you might want to stop saying what the game is, because I think it's a pretty unique idea. I'm sure someone has done something similar, but you don't want someone else to grab that idea before you and get a game out.
Well,
And then
I
ends
mean,
up being like everyone's like loved.
well, that's part of the reason why the Twitter and the website exists now. So like we kind of have dibs now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like no one else touched this. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey.
And then me, you can find me here every single week at 6 p.m. Central Time for me. And yeah, aside from that, we're over on the Destructoid TikTok. Please go over there, check out those videos. And we're over on Snapchat if you want to watch the full episodes of our stuff that we post on TikTok. There's actually some extra content on Snapchat that doesn't get on TikTok.
Mhm.
And then that's pretty much it. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It would mean a lot. We really need those, so please do that.
Drop some comments so
And
we can
thanks
talk
again.
about it next show.
Yeah,
Did you read
leave
the
some
comment from the
comments
last
in the
show?
comment section below on YouTube. I think I forgot, actually. I might want to do that real fast, Eric. Hang on, Eric. Someone last week said, at this point, I find it hard to care about Kingdom Hearts. The trailer only solidified that. Only solidified that. What I liked was seeing Final Fantasy and Disney characters interact in weird, fun ways. When they got rid of all the Final Fantasy characters, half the point was gone. Now it looks more like The World Ends With You or whatever it's called has had some Kingdom Hearts injected into it, or vice versa. Maybe that's somebody's jam, but I'm pretty sure I'm out. Yeah, it's pretty lame that we never got any hint at Disney Worlds, and it looks very lifeless and dull, and that is it. This is Spot Dodge. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks again, Eric, for being on the ones and twos. We will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Yeah.